Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numeral Beta. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. It's the numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now.
Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the classes. Hey family, it's King Simon, the founder of Numerovation. Remember, if you want to book a session with me and get a Numerovation consultation, all you have to do is text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. And if you want any of my books, go to Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. That's King Simon the Numerovator. And your books are available on Amazon. Remember, I'm the El Numero Uno, the Numerovator himself. And if you want to book a session, all you have to do is text me. Make sure you get my books on Amazon. I love you. Peace. Live the life you love and love the life you live. It's best to rise with a smile on your face, just like the sunshine all over the place. Don't be like no cat in the dark, 'cause darling, you are nearest to my heart. Why won't you dance, dance,
Dance this reggae music. It's best to rise with a smile on your face and say you're grateful, just like the sunshine all over the place. Let negativity go. Don't be like no cat in the dark. 'Cause darling, you are nearest to my heart. Why don't you dance, dance, dance this reggae music, dance. Big up to the late great Sugar Minott, good friend of mine from the past in the reggae fraternity, one of the best singers from out of Jamaica from those days. They used to call him Mr. Fix-It. I've heard me mention him and probably sang that song before because I always wake up. That's one of the songs that I wake up every morning and I'll tell Alexa, play Sugar Minott Smiles, or I'll say play Chronic Smile Jamaica. Anything that wakes me up with a smile, I'll play that song. I play songs that make, and that's what this is what today's talk is about. Never let negative and low energy people define you. Say that again. Never let negative and low energy people define you. Some of them don't have nothing else good to do. And that is the truth. Please share this live with people that you may know that's going through it. Today is September 29th, 2023. And when you add it all across, it adds up to 27, which equals a 9. And 29 itself is a very auspicious number when it comes to the interpretation of that particular number. 29 equals 11, yes. Want to say happy birthday to one of my editors and an author himself and a spoken word artist extraordinaire, Joshua Sarah, Ethiopian. Today is his birthday, his birth strong. And I did text my brother. I got some more work for that brother. So never let negative and low energy people define you. And recently, my former wife, my former first wife, she sent me a video that concerned her because it was about me. Somebody pieced up and chopped up some video and mentioned my name and mentioned Queen Afua's name and mentioned Polite's name and all kinds of stuff. And it was done in 2022. That person don't know me from a can of paint. He watches or that person watches, he or she watches, but they sent it to my former wife. And, you know, I had no idea about the video. I was like, okay, they talking mess. And then on the bottom, he said that I basically said, I didn't help Chadwick Boseman. And I never said I helped Chadwick Boseman. May he rest in peace. Chadwick Boseman and I shared a dojo. We went to the same dojo together, and our professors, Professor Bill McLeod. And there was two people that was in the dojo when Professor Bill and Sensei Steve was in the dojo, and Professor Bill told me to give Chadwick a brief breakdown of the numbers. So I looked at Chadwick numbers, and basically he's born on the 29th, but the 29th of November, and I said, you had to look out for deceivers and you have to look out for stomach and lower extremity issues. Chadwick was a very secret person. He was very secretive. He didn't even tell anybody that he was suffering from anything. But that was the year that he found out that he had a certain, that stage 4 or had cancer. That was the year. And I did the session and told him it was right the lower extremities. He got to be mindful of what he eats, who to trust, and deceivers. But also with his health, he had to pay attention to the stomach and the colon area and all that. And sure enough, our brother Chadwick passed on. But he didn't tell anybody that he was going through that. Chadwick worked through whatever he was going through. He worked through it. So for that person to say that I didn't heal or try to help Chadwick. That's not the truth. I gave him a brief, didn't even last more than 5 minutes. And he said, King Simon, you're on point. That's what he said. And there was 2 witnesses. My grandmaster and a sensei was there to witness that whole thing. And then, the rest is history. Already know what happened to Chadwick. I just told him what are possible things that could be attracted to his body. And he told me, he tapped his stomach and he said, brother, you're on point. I said, King Simon, you're on point. That's it. So when you got people out there saying, exaggerating things to make a story or get clicks, never let negative or low energy people define you. No one defines me. I define myself. And I told my former wife, don't worry about that. I'm good. Because she was, she's born under the number 16, number 7 energy. So she holds on to things. So when she sees things like that, it resonates in their mind a little bit deeper than myself, because I'm born under the number 1 energy, and I say what I mean what I say, and I'm willing to let it go. I could hold on to things for probably a couple of hours, maybe a day, depending on what it is. But then I will let it go. I let it go and let the universe, the creative force or whatever, do what it does. That's what I do. Not everybody is me. And I remember, and not everybody reacts the way I do. You know what I'm saying? So when I broke down those numbers of Chadwick's health, connected to his health and what he needs to be careful of, sure enough, it came through that his stomach and his colon area was affected, and that was it. That's all. And sometimes the negative or low energy people can bring it home to you. Sometimes your own wife, your own husband, your own child, because of what happened in the day in school, can bring home a low energy. And it's up to the parents when it comes to children, is to boost that child up. Sometimes you might offer them their favorite food. You might, some, like back in my day, because I was the darkest person in the class, I would be, they'll tease me. And it would be negative if you was, let's say, if you was an alien watching from the outside, like in another dimension, it would be considered negative what they were saying about me as a dark-skinned child. Friends that I considered friends in my class, or associates, because we was all in classes and all that kind of stuff. And then when you hear it from relatives in your house, because of their classism, or because in Jamaica or Caribbean islands, they got a lot of classism, the lighter and the darker skin and the this and the browning. That's why, think about this. That's why Buju made the Browning song. And because the dark skinned sisters didn't wanted some exposure, some respect, Buju had to make the black skin. He had to make the dark skinned girl song because of the classism in Jamaica. This goes back even into music. So the whole Willie Lynch theory, putting the light against the dark against the light, the old against the young against the old. That's all Willie Lynch theory. Because some people say that letter was just a theory. It wasn't, but the theory seemed to be true. It's a theorem now because that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago. So whatever, whether it was a real letter or not, like some people are saying, it doesn't say that it's not happening right now. But back to the point, never let negative or low energy people define who you are, because you're the one that have to look in the mirror every day, and only you know who you are. Only you know who you are. And I'm talking to the children. I'm talking to the brothers. I'm talking to the sisters. I'm talking to all of you that has been going through or allowing negative and low energy people to define you. And sometimes people bring messages. That's why you got to be very careful of the messenger that brought the message. You have to be very careful of the message that brought the messenger that brought the message, and what is their intent. Now, my ex-wife, she didn't have no ill intent. She just was concerned about her former husband. And she sent me that. And I like that she sent me that. Then it lets me know what I need to deal with on the streets. It lets me know why I have to train hard in this backyard, or I might have to train hard in the dojos, or I might have to train hard in weapons or whatever. To always be willing to watch my back, because I wasn't one for the belts, like most of my elders in the martial arts said. I wasn't one for the belts. I was in a security team that we had to secure models, we had to secure celebrities. So in the security team, they taught us under the system of Sanukas, Kumite, V-Jitsu, VSK. They taught us under those systems with Professor V and Dr. Moses Powell and Soki Littlejohn. The only one I really got touched by was Soki Littlejohn and GM Anthony Muhammad and Professor Bill Osei and a lot of the other great ones that was under Master Duncan. But in a security class, they had to teach you immediate response to attacks, because when you're dealing with celebrities, you have to have immediate response when dealing with celebrities, because you never know how they are going to come and how people are going to attack. And then you still have to have the proper handling of the people in security. You still have to have the proper handling of people when you're dealing with entertainers and you're dealing with high level security gigs and details. You can tell I know what I'm saying because I could say that, I could give you the jargon too, but that was back in my day. But when low energy and negative people have nothing to do, then they create the drama to get off of them to put on other people. But you never know what's happening in their life. And when you see people creating drama out there, look at the whole panel of people that's creating dramas and debates and all that. Look at their whole background and what they're doing. Because if they're not solution orientated, then something they're hiding, because usually people will throw out something, throw the stone, and forgot that their hands was dirty. After you throw the stone, your hands is dirty also. But if I pick up a stone from this ground here and I throw it, the residue of the stone is with me on my hand also. So when you throw a stone at somebody else, trying to get something out of them, because you're negative and you're low vibration and you're hurting, you're hurtful, remember the residue of that stone that you threw is on your hands. That's why the old saying is, let he or she without sin throw or cast the first stone. So, like I said, never let negative, low energy people define who and what you are. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that know who and what you are and how you were raised and where you was raised. You're the only one that, and usually your environment can develop you into something, but at the end of the day, you can choose to go down the high road or the low road. At the end of the day, at the end of the year, at the end of the month, at the end of the second, at the end of the hour, you decide whether you're going to take the high road or the low road. And that's all I have to say. I'm keeping it simple today. I might push this up. Yeah, I'm gonna put this up on my YouTube channel so it can reach those on YouTube. But the month of October is coming in. Let me say this: the month of October, if you want to advertise on to Facebook and Twitter's feed, I got a reasonable rate, less than most and everybody out there, because it's all about circulating the finance, but circulating people's talents and gifts through whatever products they're making. Even if you're a person that is a reputable reader or consultant. I don't like to say readers. I don't like to call tarot readers and cardology readers or astrology readers. I call y'all consultants. I call y'all advisors. Take the higher road of this, because you could go on 42nd Street or go walk up in 14th Street in Manhattan and you'll see all the readers doing palm reading and all that kind of stuff. No, you're a palm advisor or a palmistry consultant. Look at it like that. Because you can change a life. Just like I know I'm changing lives. You can change life. Just like I can change lives. And your words have to be impeccable. Yesterday I taught about the thought, words, action, and intuition. Has to be. Go look it up on YouTube or go watch it right here on the IG, in the IG media page on my IG. Your thoughts, your words, and actions, and intuition. But the thoughts, word, and action can be something that can heal other people. And if you came through with that gift, and you know you have the gift of healing, and you've been keeping it to yourself, or just keeping it to your children, or keeping it to your family, that's all right. But if you're supposed to expose it in some higher level, then go out there and circulate your energy and make sure you get the circulation back. Don't ever let people tell you that when you do something good and you're good at it, that you should do it for free and knowledge is for free. No, knowledge is not really free. Most of the people that have went for higher learning and higher knowledge had to go for long travels, had to do some type of circulatory barter system, had to be bartered to get the knowledge that you want from Kemet or from Timbuktu. And then there were some Europeans that came, missionaries, and because anytime there's missionaries, there's always military around it to protect. So those so-called missionaries and military people, they came and wanted to find and get the wisdom, and sometimes the military around them killed those people for knowledge because they wouldn't give up the knowledge, had people's tongue cut out. The children was killed. So those was negative energies, low frequency energy people that came to take a peaceful nation's knowledge of how to build, how to articulate the knowledge and wisdom of the universe. They went and killed because, and I was watching Nepal. Nepal is a content creator you see on Sanetta's show, but she had on her podcast recently, she had Ralph Ellis. Ralph Ellis is a very extraordinary European writer. And he said something about being able to protect your knowledge, being able to protect your infrastructure, because the world around you, Kemet, he said the ancient Kemetians or Kemet did not know how to protect their infrastructure. That's why they got invaded so many times. They didn't believe. They wasn't about war. They was about peace and knowledge and wisdom and going to the higher level. But if you can't protect that wisdom, if you can't protect that knowledge, then there's going to be invaders. If you don't have the guns and the weaponry, or you didn't train them in martial arts, that's where the Moors came in. Moors was about that war. They got a lot of information from Kemet, but they not only were wisdom and alchemists and knowledge people. That's what the quote unquote Moorish science they had. But they took a lot of that from out of the holes of Africa, and then they started migrating and moving to Spain and different places, but they also knew how to fight. And if you cannot protect your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of higher level and higher knowledge and temple knowledge and all that kind of stuff, yes, there's going to be invaders. That's where the negative, low energy people are going to come in. That's why in the Nation of Islam, we did security. We learned how to fight. We learned how to take away guns and disarm police officers and disarm a person. We learned how to, when attack dogs come, we learned how to navigate and use the collar of the attack dog and snap their neck. There's a few moves that you got to use to do that. And thanks to the lesson that I learned from the Nation, and also in the Ansar community, when we was called the SOI, the Swords of Islam, and the Nation had the FOI, which that's where he got it from. But we used to train martial arts every day, karate, do. We trained, there were certain brothers that was teaching us Wing Chun. There were certain brothers that did boxing. So we had to learn this. I was learning this in those communities from 17 years of age. And not only I was boxing, doing 52s and all that when I was young. I mean, I got the 52, but we was doing the jailhouse rock from when we was younger on the street. My friends and I used to practice. We was like 12, 13 years old practicing all of that stuff because we heard about the mystic use of the jailhouse and how to move and all that kind of kissing fists and then throwing it back and hitting them back. And my friends, Sylvester and Eric, all of us used to practice boxing and slap boxing, especially after a good Bruce Lee karate flick or Jim Kelly karate flick. We was out there doing our thing on the street, and I don't see children doing that. I don't see children playing out here. Everybody's on the computer. I play out here more than children play out here. I play in my own backyard, do my rollouts and climb trees and all that, than I see children. I'm still a child. Hey, Kerry, you need to contact me, Kerry. We're supposed to be doing something now. I don't know what's happening. You playing games with me, Kerry. Kerry Ann, come on now. We're supposed to be doing something. So, I'm sorry to put you out there, but I look great rising to you, my dear. She's a good sister from out of T.O. Big up to the T.O. crew. We used to practice there. I know slapboxing was all about in South Central, but we was doing it in Brooklyn. We did it in the Bronx. We did it in Queens. We did it in New York, man. We was doing the 52s and the punch you in your shoe, and then automatically hit you in your face with the other hand. We was doing that stuff. Some people call it showboating. But if you practice 52s from a very clean, what I say on my shirt, live clean, fight dirty, 52 Block Nation. Big up to Master Mo, whose movie is about to come out, and all the great senseis in the 52 blocks. I am by no means a sensei. I just train to protect myself and get home safely so I can talk to my family again. That's all I do. I'm no tough guy. I just train to protect myself to get home. Something burning out there. Somebody burning some rubber. But that's what was important to us back in the day. But again, never let negative and low energy people define you. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Hey family, it's King Simon, the founder of Numerovation. Remember, if you want to book a session with me and get a Numerovation consultation, all you have to do is text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. And if you want any of my books, go to linktree/King Simon, the Numerovator. That's King Simon, the Numerovator. And your books are available on Amazon. Remember, I'm the El Numero Uno, the Numerovator himself. And if you want to book a session, all you have to do is text me. Make sure you get my books on Amazon. I love you. Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers.
Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, motivation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%. Or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class